right. Good afternoon. We have a quorum, and so we will call to order the Land Clearance Redevelopment Authority for the City of St. Louis for its regularly scheduled meeting held on Tuesday, March 25, 2025, via Zoom. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Evans,
Here.
Commissioner Koenig,
Present.
Commissioner Spencer,
Present.
Commissioner Jones is absent, and Chair McBride.
Present.
You have a quorum with 4 present and 1 absent.
Thank you. For the first time on the agenda, we'll review the minutes for the meeting held on February 20, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
So move, Spencer.
I second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. Now we'll take up Resolution 25 LCRA 10-913 relating to the designation of Financier LLC as redeveloper of certain Jeff Vanderloo scattered sites. Zach, you're going to walk us through that, please?
Yes, sir. This resolution is designating Financier LLC as the redeveloper of the property located in the Jeff Vanderloo scarce sites redevelopment area. This redevelopment area was in front of the LCRA board back in October 2022 and was finally passed as an ordinance 71898 and went into effect November 11th, 2024. The little reason for the delay in the board bill being passed was the original plan straddled 2 wards. Then when the wards merged, we had to get support from the new alderperson and to get the board bill passed. So we finally got that passed. We're moving forward with designation of developer for a Financier LLC. There's 2 phases to this project. Sarah, I think we're on a different slide. So this is the gateway one, next one. So look for the one with Spring and Prairie. While the slides are getting adjusted, the Prairie phase 2 will be along the Prairie parcels. We'll have 40 senior units. Low-income housing tax credits will be applied for those. And then the first phase is a former LRA building that's along Spring that will be part of the Negro League Museum in the future. As you see those parcels along Prairie, that's shaded will be the senior housing. The parcel that has the yellow building that's hashed out will be the Negro League Museum. Approximately $27 million will be a rough estimate right now for the 2 phases, but I feel like it will definitely go up. We have authorized 15 years of tax abatement, 10 years at 90, followed by 5 years at 50. That's typical for a low-income housing tax credit project. This project scored very well on our the community's scorecard. Scored 99 points. It may be a record, but I'll let Andrew research that in the future. But geography, affordability, rehabbing a historic building that's formerly an LRA building, checks all the boxes. We're very supportive of this project and we want to provide any support we can in the future. So with this designation, Mr. Harvey can go out and apply for more financing and hopefully close the gap some to get this moving. So happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions from the commissioners?
Have they gone in for a LIHTC application yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it seems like a small amount, a small number of units for a LIHTC project. And maybe you could talk a little bit about the HTCs. Are they related just to the museum, or are they related to the redevelopment of the other parcels into the senior housing?
The only existing building is the building you see in front of you, so that the historic tax credits would just go for that project. And that's for the museum, and commercial space above will be office and possible medical doctor's offices.
And has any scorecard been generated for this resolution?
Back in this resolution, no, but in the resolutions back in October of 2022, there was the community scorecard was passed, generated with 99 points. It got 40 points for affordable housing, 30 points for geography, 5 points for minority-owned business. Keeps on going. Historic preservation, environmental remediation, capital investment, transit access, outside funding. So it scored 99 points total. So, and to be honest, there will be a second resolution in the future when the financing gets more secured, because they'll be coming in front of you for the bonds for the construction sales tax.
Zach, maybe I'm not reading this correctly. It's 100 senior affordable apartments and then 62 additional affordable apartments, and the total development cost is only 18,000 or 18 million, and that includes renovating the.
Now that I like to point out, this is those are typos. Those are not correct. I needed that. Please go by with the resolution. It says
Yeah.
40 units.
Right, that's okay.
Yes. So
Yeah, that's where my number was. I think that's a little short for the
yeah.
LIHTC award. I'm glad somebody's pursuing it, and I hope that they're successful.
I
You're
just
saying the
wanna-
resolution is accurate, Zach? So.
Correct. Resolution is accurate.
Okay.
It's still early on in the process for both projects. We just wanted to show that the LCRA supports either project, and we're so he can go out and pursue financing.
All right. Any further questions from the commissioners? Hearing none at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 25 LCRA 10-913.
Motion.
Second,
I said.
Sorry,
Moved
Olivia.
and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. Now we'll take up resolution 25 LCRA 10-914 relating to issuance of taxable industrial revenue bonds for 1410 Ohio Avenue. See, Zach, you're gonna kick us off on that?
Yes, sir. This resolution was initial resolution was passed by this board in December of 2024 to designate. Let me get the name right here. Lafayette Preservation LLC as developer for this area. This is the second resolution and second step in the process. This allows for us to issue taxable industrial revenue bonds to allow for construction sales tax for the project. To kind of give an overview, it's 100 senior apartments and 62 multifamily apartments. So a total of 162 affordable housing units. This will be 60% of the area median income. So this is definitely something we definitely would support. Several of the multifamily apartment units has more than 2 to 3 and 4 bedrooms. So that's something we're very supportive of. Maximum purchase amount of this, the bonds will be 22 million. We have Mark Spikerman kind of go over the steps, the following steps of what the developer will have to pursue after this. Mark, you there?
Yes, thank you, Zach. Yeah, this, as Zach mentioned, this is the second step in the process of approvals when we issue these sort of bonds. If the board grants approval of this resolution, we would proceed with the bond issuance. Generally, we time it around the same time as their construction loan. The bonds are special limited obligations payable only from leasehold revenues from the developer. No city tax dollars are used to pay these bonds, and they facilitate a sales tax exemption on construction materials. Happy to answer any other questions, or I don't know if there's anyone from the developer here, Zach, that needs to speak.
I don't believe they're on the line.
And Mr. Spikerman, since this is Commissioner Evans' first time dealing with this as commissioner, she may have some background. Otherwise, could you go through the full process just so we have a
Sure.
good framework here?
Yeah, as part of this incentive, the LCRA will obtain a leasehold interest in the property during the construction period. And using the bond issue, they will effectively on paper finance the redevelopment activities. This allows the developer to essentially borrow LCRA's sales tax exemption status. There's, as far as paperwork goes, it's a Form 5060 project exemption certificate that the developer can hand to its contractors, who then hand to their vendors in which they purchase the construction materials from. Once the project is complete, we go ahead and just unwind all those leases, and the bond transaction is canceled and everything goes back to sort of status quo. But during that construction period, they would have gotten the benefit of the LCRA's tax exempt status.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Sparkman or Mr. Wilson on this resolution? All right. Seeing none, hearing none, at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10914.
So moved, request for previous rule.
I second.
And properly moved and seconded with request for previous roll. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. Now we'll take up Resolution 25 LCRA 10915, relating to the renewal of an option for 5545 and 5565 Kates. Is Shelton gonna walk us through that, or someone else?
You're stuck with me, Commissioner. I'm sorry.
I'm
I apologize.
no apologies.
Yeah, so just pretend I'm Sinetta. I'll try to talk a little. This, we're asking for a 12-month renewal of an option or extension of an option for these two addresses. The FSC Consulting Development LLC is the developer of Village of Delmar Place, which produced 4 units of affordable housing in the West End neighborhood. They would like to build 4 single-family homes at these two parcels. We're supportive of that. They're offering us $14,000 for the 2 parcels for the 12-month option renewal. So West End is a very, especially the southern parts of the West End neighborhood, is a very active development, and we've been seeing more development in that area, rehabs and construction by Vatterott and FSC. It's good to have some affordable units built in and sprinkled in there too. So the staff is supportive of this extension, and we're looking for approval.
All right, so as an extension of a resolution that was passed, looks like in 2022.
22, yeah.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Wilson on this resolution?
Mr. Wilson, since this has been a few years, are we pretty confident that this development's gonna happen?
We think it will be happen. That's also why if it doesn't happen in this window, it's 12-month extension. Anything, if it doesn't happen in this 12 months, we can easily find someone else who will build the housing.
Yeah, that neighborhood's getting popular, and I know that there's a lot of interested developers, and just want to make sure, you know, something positive happens on the site. The other question I have is the 14,102. That's the total cost of the lots, but that's not the cost of the option. Is that correct?
No, I'm sorry. That it's the cost of the lots, but I will track down what the cost of the option is.
I think the option's 10%, 10% of that.
Thank you.
Well, that was one thing I thought was odd, and thank you for clarifying that, the two of you. I think then what happens? Do we need to amend this resolution so it's clear? In paragraph 1?
Yeah, I think if we amend it to would it be?
Well, we'll just say the calculated option fee, whatever. We don't have to do the math right now or whatever it is. Recognize Mr. Morrow.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Sorry to interrupt, but this tends to track LRA's option format. So what the $14,102 12-month option represents is that the total cost to purchase to close is going to be $14,102. The option fee is going to be 10% of that. So I hope that adds a little bit of clarity into what's going on.
Well, if this is how it typically goes in LRA, that's fine. I just want to make sure it's clear on our end. So is this sufficient, Mr. Morrow, or do we need to amend anything?
I would be confident that this is sufficient for a
Then let's not
for
ask for
the option.
that would overly complicate things down the road. Anything else on this resolution? Now that I've led us astray a little bit, we'll get back on track. Seeing and hearing none, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10-915.
Motion.
Second, request previous roll.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded with request for previous roll. Is there any opposition to that request? Seeing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. All right, now we'll take up Resolution 25 LCRA 916 relating to lease amendment with Randy Kinder Excavating, Inc. Looks like James is going to walk us through that.
Yes, good afternoon, commissioners. I am back and we're sticking with the LRA theme. So a little over a month ago, RKE and their subcontractor, Fred M. Luth, approached LRA about utilizing around 5 vacant LRA lots as staging areas for some of their water line infrastructure improvements at the Cochrane VA Center. The request isn't unusual. LRA has agreements with other utilities like Spire for similar use of vacant properties. It helps to keep staging materials off of city streets, doesn't impede traffic, and allows a little bit of revenue to come to the agency. In the course of reviewing the parcels at issue, staff determined that one of the 5 parcels is actually owned by LCRA. That's 3676 Finney. So rather than try and complicate things with a lease to LRA and a sublease, we determined that the most convenient avenue is to do 2 lease agreements, one for 4 parcels through LRA and one for the single parcel here through LCRA. I also have some representatives of the contractors, Greg Tarbutton with RKE and Josh Foster with Fred M. Luth, who can give some additional details about the scope of the utilization of the parcels if the commission desires.
That'd be outstanding. Let's see, I see Mr. Tarbutton as a participant here on the panel side. So yeah, if you could just give us a little more context, that'd be outstanding, Mr. Tarbett.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so this particular, I know, Mr. Morrow mentioned 5 properties. So this particular one that we're talking about today is directly going to be utilized by Fred M. Luth. So for the specifics of that, I might turn it over to Josh Foster. Let him describe what
All
they're.
right, Mr. Foster.
Good afternoon. Yeah, just what we're planning on doing, there's an existing 48-inch water main that runs along Finney. And as you can imagine, 48-inch diameter water main by 20-foot long takes up a lot of space. So what we'd just like to do is utilize that that existing property so we can stage the pipe kind of out of the way. And basically what we would do is, as we put it in the ground, we would continue to restock from our location at Van de Venter and McCree. So we'd just be kind of shuffling material back and forth, and gives us an area to stage and then place the new pipe in the ground and kind of continue on as we go. That's just kind of the simple short version.
And when do you expect that construction to begin, or that, and then also the utilization of the Finney property?
Yeah, so we've actually already started construction in the area. Actually have a map I can share with the actual construction limits. I don't know if you're
Sure.
interested in that, but I'm prepared to share it if you'd like.
If you could grant Mr. Tarbutton the ability to share that.
I'm trying right now. Give me a second. Yeah. I think I figured it out. Yeah, there we go. Let me know when you can see that.
I can see that you have started screen sharing, but I don't see it. Now it's popped up. Okay.
So just for reference, this huge big building right here is the John Cochran VA Hospital on Grand. And so if you can see the light blue outline, my mouse is
Yes.
crosshairs is falling. That's the actual construction limits of the project. And then there's the white areas that I have hatched out here. This is 3676 Finney. That's adjacent to 2 sides of the pipe of the work. So I'll give you a reference, and I'll just stop there. See if anybody has any questions.
Very good. Any questions on this graphic from the commissioners?
I just want some clarification. Is this related to repairing and upgrading for the new building, or is this just general maintenance that needs to happen for the old building?
So so this is kind of an interesting deal. We are working, we're the general contractor, but we're working directly for the United States Army Corps of Engineers, who is administering the contract for the Department of Veterans Affairs. So my direct contact with the Department of Veterans Affairs or the VA hospital there, I don't really have any. So we're like a full scope of exactly why we're doing this. I'm not 100% sure, but I do. My understanding is because it's that they have to reroute this line for their future upgrades. Is my understanding. Hope that helps.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I should add that when I say we've already started construction, only thing we've really done is starting last week is a little work here at the corner of Grand and Bell, and now we've moved up here to Red Fox and Finney, and there's no major work going on yet. So as far as the expectation of major impact to Spring and or Grand, we'll probably Josh, I'll let you jump into there, but we're probably a month out from any major work going on in the area.
Do you have a timeline on how long the work's going to take?
Yeah, current anticipated completion date is June of next year.
Full year.
That's for your scope, correct, Greg?
Yes. Yeah. That's
Okay.
just for this water line. As far as the full scope of the VA, I have no clue.
I want to make sure we're really clear on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh, all right. Well, at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution 25 LCRA 10-916.
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. And thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you attending the meeting. Let's take up resolution 25 LCRA 10-917 relating to an agreement for security services at 3940 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Peter, are you going to walk us through that?
Well, yes, good afternoon, good afternoon. So resolution 25 LCRA 10-917 is seeking authorization to enter into an amendment to the original agreement with Garda World Security Services here at 3940 Dr. Martin Luther King, otherwise rebranded as the Monarch. Essentially, back in December of 23, LCRA approved the original contract for 24/7 security services with Garda World. They didn't for an amount up to $310,000. I will tell you that the timelines here may not seem like they make sense. They did not actually get started, and we did not transition until June from the previous temporary security services. You may remember we had Sentry Security, and we had a couple of extensions to their temporary services while we got this contract figured out. So Garda World transitioned in June, and their contract is good for a year. So we're looking to amend and extend that. And so this resolution is seeking for another year extension on top of that contract, through March of 26 for an additional $300,000. I will tell you, again, with the expenditures to date, given that we didn't start until June, we are experiencing approximately $21-ish thousand in security service costs a month. And so to date, we have not used the original 310. We've incurred about $200,000-ish to date with some initial setup and the cost for 24/7 security services. We also, in that 310, we also had built in a little bit of a buffer for potential technology upgrades, which we have not since utilized. So there is a little bit left over there from the original 310. But I will say that we do expect the cost to go up a little bit with an escalation for hourly rates for guards. The living wage bulletin was just announced, and so like living wage went up a little bit, and so we intend to follow suit with the hourly rates given to the guards under the contract. So the 300,000 is what we expect to come close to covering the 24/7 services, again with a small buffer in there. And so I did want to note that on the resolution itself, as here's we're talking about typos and potential amendments. I'll leave it up to maybe James to respond if this is necessary to have a formal amendment to the resolution. But the resolution mentions the previous approval being 25 LCRA 10-837. It's actually 23 LCRA 10-837. So just a little context, because the numbers 25 10-837 or 10-837 don't make any sense. That is because it doesn't. It's 23. So it just, again, whether or not that needs formal correction, I will leave up to the larger group. But I wanted to point that out.
Peter?
Okay, so at this time, I'll open it up for any questions.
I mean, I recall when we discussed this previously, it's my memory, which I want you to verify, please, that there would be at least 2 security officers at any point in time. Is that right? Or how many, what are we getting with this number? Could you, maybe
Correct.
that's a better way to attack it.
It is 1 guard 24/7. There were options within the original proposal to have up to 2. The minimum was 1 24/7. They had proposed potential, like to allow like potential overlapping shifts for 1.5, coverage for 24/7, or up to 2 guards 24/7. And we elected to go with 1 guard 24/7 stationed at the booth with rotating circulations and monitoring of the site. So the guard will leave the booth occasionally to do their rounds and to check, the security cameras, et cetera, as necessary to ensure everything is running smoothly. So it is just currently, and since we've begun, up until now, it is 1 guard 24/7.
All right, recognize President Richardson.
You all hear me okay?
We can.
Oh, great, great, great. No, I just wanted to acknowledge, based off of the questions here, that Gorda World has done a tremendous job of protecting this asset for us. They've been very welcoming as we've had visitors come in, different community members, parties that are interested in locating at the space. Tours of the facility have all been conducted in a very professional manner. We have a guard at the gate at all times, ensuring that we have sign in and sign out, clear understanding of who's coming in and outside of the space. So that's been great protection and security at the site. And today, knock on wood, we have not had any security breaches or incidents, which have, again, is a testament of the great work of Gorda. So I just wanted to acknowledge their work and their efforts thus far and speak on their behalf. But then also Peter and the team, we will provide a more thorough update on the status of the Monarch at the next board meeting. We are seeking to finalize a lease agreement with the tenant, as well as having some latest drawings and updates on architectural information from Christmas Architect, which we've engaged to perform the design and layout for the space. So we're making tremendous progress and really excited about what's to come. So as we talk about upping security, that may happen at a later time once we have more tenants and valued assets at the property. But in this current form, I believe this is sufficient, and Gorda has done a tremendous job.
Thank you, President Richardson. Any questions for any of the presenters on this resolution?
Just have one. Are we expecting that we're going to have to use this entire approval? This amount, is it going to be another 12 months before we have activity on the site? Or it sounds like that's the case, but just wanted to check.
So when you say activity, you're talking about like construction activity, et cetera, and like people moving in? I mean,
I thought we were doing phases, and maybe there could be some tenants in a certain portion of the building that might add to the security during the day.
That is the intent. I can't give you an exact breakdown. And I think, to Commissioner Richardson, saying that we're going to have more of a thorough update. We're going to actually be back as well with some, not just with an update, but also with some additional requests related to those updates for actually putting out some of that construction work. And so the exact nature behind if additional security and or security being provided by potential contractors in the future and or tenants, that is still, not finalized at this time. So the way that this contract is contemplated is that we will still provide at a minimum during the construction and or early leasing components of a portion of this site, a minimum of 1 guard stationed there, and unless otherwise changed. So that is the plan, because we don't have the exact timing built out since nothing has been bid, and we don't have the final lease agreement, et cetera. There's nothing final, et cetera, final to report or change yet. So I would just say that we anticipate for at least another 12 months having a minimum of 1 person 24/7, even during those activities.
Yeah, but to Peter's point, we plan to come back next month with a more full update, just trying to work out the specifics with a potential tenant. LCRA typically doesn't lease out space, so as you can imagine, it's been a new journey for us as we are developing term sheets and negotiating term sheets with tenants, building out, doing TI improvements, tenant improvements for the potential occupant of the space, working out some of those CAM agreements, including security, will all be part of that agreement as well. So right now we are maintaining 100% of the security cost to protect our investment. However, those costs may be covered partially by the tenants as they occupy the space.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve resolution 25 LCRA 10-917.
So moved, request a previous roll.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded with request for previous roll. Is there any objection to that request? Seeing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved.
Can I make one more
Thank you.
comment, Director
Absolutely.
Chairman Brad, before we move on? So just for edification for the group here, the Monarch was featured in the latest weekly publication of the St. Louis Business Journal, highlighting workforce development efforts happening across the region. So it's already starting to get notoriety as a leading anchor for the future of workforce development in the region. So just wanted to make sure that the commissioners were aware that that was featured as well. So thank you.
Always good to see the recognition. Thank you. All right, let's take up resolution 25 LCRA 10-918 relating to authorization of donation of LCRA owned parcels to serve infrastructure purposes. I believe Rob is going to walk us through that.
I am. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Good afternoon. Resolution 25 LCRA 10-918 authorizes LCRA to donate certain parcels that it owns in the city to the city of St. Louis proper. All of the parcels that are in this resolution either are currently or will be a part of public infrastructure. They should have been right of way already. I don't know the history of all these parcels, but as you can imagine, over the years, LCRA, as it conducts its business, may acquire parcels, sell off part of a parcel, maybe not selling off part of it that the developer doesn't need, may have acquired it as part of a larger acquisition. And so throughout the city, we have a number of just odd one-off parcels that don't really make any sense for LCRA to own. So the resolution, I maybe could have been a little bit clearer. There are two essential groups of parcels. If you can go back to Exhibit 1, this parcel, you can see the casino kind of in the lower left-hand corner. This is a parcel that exists within Carr Street down by the St. Louis riverfront. It obviously is functioning as a street. It's fully within the street. LCRA couldn't sell it if we wanted to, can't develop it, can't do anything with it. It should be public right of way. So we are proposing to donate it to the city of St. Louis so that any future maintenance that would be required on this section of the street would be on their responsibility. In addition to reducing liability that LCRA would have should someone walk across this parcel and break a leg or get hurt somehow. Doesn't make sense for LCRA to own it. So this is the one at 1030 North 2nd Street. If we can go on to the next exhibit, Exhibit 2, this is 939 Morrison. It is essentially a cul-de-sac and a short drive that leads to the cul-de-sac. Again, can't be developed, of no value to LCRA. It belongs with the city. The city should maintain it as a public right-of-way. If we can go on to Exhibit 3, similar in the same neighborhood, 4 separate parcels. Again, all functioning as either, in one case, it's an alley, in another case, it's a cul-de-sac. And in the third and fourth cases, it's basically a sidewalk. So those are the parcels that are not connected to the Hodiamont Greenway, which is the next set of parcels that we are presenting for donation today. If we can go to Exhibit 4. So as you know, many of you know, Great Rivers Greenway is in the process of developing the Hodiamont Greenway. There's some work that's going to be starting very soon. A number of these parcels, I think there's roughly 13 of them, were a part of the old railroad tracks that were abandoned years ago, and LCRA, through some real estate transaction years ago, acquired these. Again, they were all part of that streetcar rail tracks, and so they have no value. They're undevelopable lots. They should be a public right of way. Great Rivers Greenway would like to build the Hodiamont Greenway over this area. There are 4 parcels that are actually like the one on 2nd Street. They're actually in the middle of the street. They are street parcels. They can't be developed. They have no value to LCRA going forward. So what the intent of this resolution is to basically prepare a quick claim deed to transfer these properties over to the city of St. Louis. And so in this case, for the Hodiamont Greenway, this is at the request of Great Rivers Greenway on this one, would allow them to continue to develop the Greenway and only have to deal with the city of St. Louis and not have to have multiple development agreements, one with the city, one with LCRA. Bi-State owns a parcel in this area. So we're really trying to support their development. It's a great project. Would be really exciting to see that happen. And this is our effort and contribution towards that project. And with that, I will entertain any questions.
Thank you. That's very comprehensive. It's always fascinating to figure out how certain pieces and parcels were titled in the LCRA name. I kind of want to set up an office right there in the middle of 2nd Street, see what happens. But we'll let that go. Any questions for Rob Orr on this resolution?
No, I agree. It was a nice overview, and it's good to see some of this cleaned up, and at the same time, at least on this last one, put to good use.
All right. If there are no further questions or comments, then at this time I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10-918.
So move, request for previous rule.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded with request for previous rule. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. At this time, is there anything in open agenda?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick note on the last resolution highlighting the Great Rivers Greenway contribution and the donation. We've been strong partners with Great Rivers Greenway. There was recently, as of yesterday, a kickoff event of the Greenway in North St. Louis City. Highlighted one of our investments that we're making in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, their new golf facility that's being built off of Grand. So that's really exciting to see that investment come to fruition in the form of support through our North City Grant Program. So I wanted to make sure that that was highlighted here today, because that was a big step forward for connecting North St. Louis to South St. Louis and bringing connective tissue together for overall support for economic development growth. The last thing I wanted to hit on is we've also supported the ongoing neighborhood manager for the Great Rivers Greenway economic development activity. So that's also an investment that we've made through LCRA to support those efforts. So just want to make sure that we continue to recognize the strong impact that we're making here at SLDC and LCRA to move these monumental projects forward. I understand that there's a lot of partnership and work that comes into this, but I want to make sure our efforts are not going unnoticed. So thank you.
Thank you. That's outstanding. If there's nothing else in open agenda, we do have an item in an executive session. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for the reasons set out in section 610.021, parents 1, parents 18, parents 12, and parents 2. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Koenig,
aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. All right, this time we'll go into executive session. We will do a roll call at this time as all of our commissioners have returned.
Here, sorry, did you say,
You're good. You said it. Commissioner Koenig,
Here,
Commissioner Spencer,
Present.
Commissioner Jones is absent, Chair McBride.
I am present as well.
You.
All right. Very good. Do we have anything else in open agenda?
No, sir. Thank you.
We have concluded our agenda, and so at this time, our next board meeting is scheduled for April 22, 2025. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
second.
Moved and seconded. We are adjourned. Thank you all for your time.